Yo, I'm FPX Toycat, and there are almost 200 countries on this globe, and learning something about each of them is important if you want to understand why the international community and why all international relations work the way that they do. Why do events happen in the world in such a disfavorable way, you might think? This is something you can learn if you just learn a little bit about each country, and although I can't teach you about every country, today I figured I'd make a scratch using the world's most important educational medium, that's right, Minecraft villages. So without further ado, let's jump straight into it. This village is about as well off as you'd expect for a tiny one built in the middle of a desert, but everything changed in the 1960s when oil was discovered. Despite being the 117th largest country in the world by land area, they have the 6th largest oil reserves in the world, and as a result, everything is gold-plated, the citizens do not need to pay any taxes, and everyone there is wildly wealthy if they were in the country prior to that point. And although kissing in public is banned, you'll see very few villagers breeding in public in this village. The reality is the exchange seems to be worthwhile for the citizens. I mean, I would trade my ability to kiss in public for a wild amount of wealth, wouldn't you? Actually, there's a fun question. But instead of answering it, how about we instead go over to the land of the free, where you can buy pretty much anything that you want, because this villager is substantially richer than the vast majority of others, but the downside is that if you get hurt and you want to buy a health potion, it's gonna cost you all of your emeralds. Also, for some reason, everyone here has multi-shot crossbows that they refuse to get rid of and insist are part of the culture of their country, and although I think that's probably dangerous, I can't deny it's incredibly fun to use these, especially against other villagers. Conversely, in Canada, crossbows are banned and health potions are free. However, if you go outside and forget your house keys, then you will slowly freeze to death, but it will be a slow, painful Canadian death. So you've got that going for you. Health potions are also free in New Zealand. That is for you and all of the sheep here. I don't know why I love this so much, but I really do. Wait, why is this sheep over here upside down? In case you're curious as to why it's called New Zealand, it's actually named after Zeeland, an island in the Netherlands, which by the way were the first country to have a stock market and also one of the first countries to have a speculative bubbles, and I'm not kidding when I say it was for tulips. You used to be able to trade a house for a tulip in some circumstances, which sounds dumb in retrospect, but maybe all of this does, because being the only nation on Earth with an average height below sea level, the Netherlands have had a pretty good interaction with the oceans, being the first country to establish colonies, and actually, you know, this is all a lie. We all know what the real Netherlands is, right? I mean, open your eyes, people. It's literally in the name, Neverlands. So Taiwan is often called an Asian tiger because it's one of the world's biggest success stories. It went from third world to first world country in the autonomous province of Taiwan that is part of the People's Republic of China is actually not a very good successful country, and China is #1. Also, did you know, China, while we're talking about anyway, happens to own all of the pandas in the world. Some pandas can be found outside of China, but they're always temporarily borrowed. You cannot own pandas, and if the pandas decide to mate outside of China, those children also belong to China. Which is kind of crazy. I can think of very few other animals that are literally owned by one state, but you know what? China does a good job of that. So Sweden might have Minecraft and PewDiePie behind them, but Denmark has the cultural export of Lego. That's right, you know, the thing that's so much bigger than Minecraft, so much bigger in fact that they have to cling onto Minecraft's relevance by making Lego Minecraft packs. Yeah, that's Denmark, the far more successful of the two countries. Look, either way you want to see this, there's no way I'm getting involved in this, because instead I want to talk to you about my favorite Nordic country, a country which, by the way, is the wealthiest in the world, not in terms of the per citizen wealth, but by the fact that the government has this amount of money. There's a live count on their website. So instead of borrowing and having thousands or tens of thousands of dollars of debt against each person, the Norwegian government actually has a sovereign wealth fund that is the largest in the world and owns something like 1% of the global shares. And wouldn't it be nice if your government cared about you and your future rather than your votes right now, or rather the votes of the people 20 years ago? That would be great, wouldn't it? Speaking of great, Latvia is great with potatoes. Also, to be fair to Estonia though, there is usually alcohol involved as well. So geographically speaking, this is one of the skinniest countries in the world. It is very long and very thin. Don't we all wish we were that, huh? But also, it's a little bit cold here. I would even go as far as to say it's a little chilly over here. So this village is beautiful, it's got diverse landscapes, it's got wonderful people, wonderful food, and let's just ignore the elephant in the room that might kill you in your sleep and behead you in the night if you are caught up in the wrong areas. If you ignore that, it is a wonderful village. So I hope you enjoyed this little window into some of the cultures and countries that make up this wonderful earth that we all live on. Of course, I hope it was seriously educational, and this is really the only resource you need to go from 0 to PhD level of international relations. If you do want to see more videos like this, I have made a countries in Minecraft as well as a political positions explained via Minecraft villages before, and if you want to see those, they'll probably be linked on the screen at the end of this video because that's how YouTube works. You know, things are confusing on YouTube, but what isn't confusing is the fact that I would like it if you considered hitting that subscribe button to see more of these videos. They take a lot of time to make and then to edit and to put together. You would be surprised, and if you reward that with a subscribe with perhaps a notification bell, it's something I would appreciate, and it would allow you to see more of these if we do them in the future. Thank you so much for watching. I had to give up my right to go to China this video, so I hope it did tickle your brain in some way, and if it didn't, then I guess I'll see you all in the next one regardless. Goodbye.